Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City of Romulus City Council regular meeting for Monday, November 2nd, 2015. The roll will show that all members are present with the exception of Councilwoman Makowski and Councilman Wadsworth.
They are excused.
And I might add, Mr. Chair and Council, that we spoke with Mr. Wadsworth, Councilman Wadsworth last week, and his surgery, everything went well.
Great.
He's going to be out for a little bit, but the doctors, he's following the doctor's orders. He can't get up and walk around on his foot, but he just at least wanted me to, let everybody know that, that he's doing well in his
Great.
surgery.
Great. Good news.
The tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6A clerk's report, 6B treasurer's report, 7 public comment, 8 unfinished business, 9 new business, 10 communication, and number 11 adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Kraut, supported by Ms. Choate, for approval of the agenda as presented. Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda approved.
2A, approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held October 26, 2015.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I'll make that motion for the approval of minutes from the regular council meeting, October 26, 2015.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held October 26, 2015. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Minutes approved.
There were no special meetings held on October 26, and there are no petitioners on the agenda tonight. Number 4, the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Earlier tonight, we had a public hearing on the proposed special assessment road for the Merriman Road Enhancement Project. I just wanted to wish everybody, I hope they had a nice Halloween, and the kids, I hope there was no casualties or anything, and everybody was safe. I know I ate a lot of candy, and it was really delicious, but I'm glad everything went peaceful for the city of Romulus. I have nothing else, Madam Clerk. That's the end.
I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved, and thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, council, clerk, deputy clerk, and audience. A couple quick announcements tonight, then we'll get into my regular report. Quote I brought tonight goes as this: someone is sitting in the shade today because we planted a tree long ago, and we're working on some development. I want to use that quote because we thank those 4 founders who put the system in place for us today. We're working hard on some development. Thank God now the downtown Goddard Road is open. There's still some work to be done there. You got a memo in your box as well about Goddard Road and the intersection at Wayne and Goddard, which hopefully be finished up in the next week. So looking at moving forward. We also have a lot of events coming up, and Roger, we do have a quick clip on that. If you'd roll that, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Jasmine Dancy. Here's what's coming up around Romulus. Our 2nd annual Veterans Day Parade is coming up on Wednesday, November 11th. The parade will start at 9:30 a.m., beginning at the Progressive Hall, travel up Goddard to Bibbins, and ending at the Wayne Road Veterans Memorial in front of the Municipal Complex at 11111 Wayne Road. We are seeking any and all veterans and their families to come out and ride in the parade. There will be a float provided for veterans. Any organizations are invited to participate in the parade with patriotic or military-themed entries. Please call 734-955-8960 to RSVP or for more information. The Romulus Goodfellows applications for aid are now available. Romulus families in need or seniors age 60 and older can pick up applications in person at Romulus City Hall, Fire Department Headquarters, or the Romulus Senior Center during regular business hours. Applications must be postmarked by November 30th to be considered. This is also your last chance to purchase an ad in the Goodfellows annual newspaper. This publication is distributed to over 5,000 people during paper sales and would be a great alternative to greeting cards to send your holiday wishes this season. Businesses, organizations, individuals, and families are welcome to place an ad. There is still time, but you must submit your ad by the end of this week. Another way to support the Goodfellows is by visiting the Romulus House restaurant on Wednesday, November 25th for their annual free dinner from 4 to 8 p.m. Patrons are given a full Thanksgiving dinner at no cost, but all donations received will be donated to the Romulus Goodfellows. The Romulus House restaurant has been hosting these dinners for over a decade, and it continues to grow every year. Please consider attending to help those in need in our community. You can find all of this information for aid and advertisements online at romulusgov.com/Goodfellows, or feel free to call the Goodfellows hotline at 734-955-4577. Please save the date for some of our other upcoming city events during the approaching holiday season. The Winter Wonderland and official tree lighting will be held on Friday, December 4th. There will be tickets available for a special dinner with Santa at 5 p.m. and the regular ceremony will be at 6 p.m. Current City of Romulus recreation programs include Pee Wee basketball that is still accepting registrations for youth in grades kindergarten through 2nd grade. Fee is $70 and includes a team jersey. Play started last week, but we do still have some openings. Please come to the Mayor's office at City Hall to register. Play continues through mid-December. There is a Tai Chi class that also started last week. Classes are every week on Thursday evenings held at the Romulus Senior Center. Tai Chi is a great way to boost your energy, lower blood pressure, and improve mental clarity. It's a great activity for people of all ages and ability levels. This class is open for ages 16 and up. It's a great deal at only $50 for 7 weeks. You can also register for this class in the Mayor's office at City Hall. Finally, drop-in chess will be going on at the Senior Center on Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. through December 17th. All ages are welcome and chess materials are provided. There's a $3 fee per night, but come on in and have the chance to play a few rounds with people of varying ability levels. This has been Romulus News You Can Use. You can stay connected with us on romulusgov.com or facebook.com/City of Romulus. If you'd like to take another look at this newscast, any of our city council meetings, or other cable programming, please visit our YouTube channel at youtube.com/City of Romulus. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank you, Jasmine. A lot of things going on. So just the reason we do that is try to hit the website. We try to get the message out, try to get it in the newsletter, and use cable as well. So pay attention to those dates and a lot of other events to come. Under my normal action item report, I have first one before you is 5A, and what we have is a request to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into attached intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County. This is for the Merriman Road concrete patching project. Estimated cost $104,435, and the funds come out of the roads routine maintenance account.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Choate.
I would like to make that motion, that the city enter into an intergovernmental agreement between City of Romulus and the County of Wayne for improvements to Merriman Road, concrete pavement repair from I-94 freeway to south of Ecorse Road. That would be work order 46969, the City of Romulus share of $104,435, and that we authorize the mayor and clerk to execute this agreement and other necessary documents.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into this attachment intergovernmental agreement with Wayne County for the Merriman Road Concrete Patching Project with an estimated cost share of $104,000, $435. Any discussion? Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5B, and that's a request to approve payment of the attached CSX signal maintenance and crossing program, maintenance program. The invoice amount is $11,711. That comes out of the traffic signal account, and that cost is actually spread over 10 years.
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I have a-
Oh,
I'll make-
is there a motion?
I'll make that motion, but I have a question after.
Okay.
I had a question too.
Support.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the payment of the attached CSX signal maintenance and crossing maintenance invoice in the amount of $11,711. Any discussion? Ms.
Yes.
Abdo, and then Ms. Choate.
Yes, it says this is spread over 10 years, is that correct? Does that mean it's 11,000 a year for 10 years?
No, I took it as this 11,000 spread over, it covers your amount. So this basically covers us for 10 years of maintenance, is the way I took it.
So we don't,
I would hope. that's what-
Breakdown is in the
I saw the breakdown, but I still didn't have any clarification as to whether it was this much for a year or that spread out over 10 years. I couldn't figure it out from the invoice.
My understanding was that was for the 10-year program, because they don't come back every year. Basically, they fix the interchanges where the rails cross the street, and those were the breakdown of what they did in the individual costs. So that's basically for a 10-year program is the way I took it. You have any other different?
Ms. Choate,
um,
and then Ms. Roscoe.
well, this invoice does not cover crossings at Van Born, Pennsylvania.
Correct.
Or Eureka.
The list of crossings are on that page 101 from CSX.
Wait, it says North Line, Grant, Bibbins, Goddard, Tobine, and Wick. But it doesn't include
Correct.
the.
Those were the only ones that were in this package.
So,
Doesn't mean they won't come back and do some other improvements. It just means those were the ones that were covered within this scope of work.
thank you.
Yep.
John,
Yes, Ms.
I
Ms.
still have a
Roscoe.
question.
Wait,
Oh,
Ms.
I'm
Roscoe,
sorry.
and then
thank you.
On the
Back to you.
invoice,
Yes.
the billing period says October 1st, 2014 through September 30th, 2015. So I think that's why it makes it sound like it's just for a year for the maintenance on these 6 different locations. Seems like if that was for 10 years, it would have said, from this period to this period. This has got to be for the work they just done for
It
those
is for the work
payrolls.
that they just did, correct. And I see on the invoice page, it says the bill date was August 19th of 2015, so.
So I would think it's just the fee for the past year.
For that work being done. I can verify that.
yes, sir.
There's a 10-year program, and it involves all the crossings and Romulus, and this is just the one.
I just want some more clarification.
This is completed, yeah, so we will be probably most likely getting more invoices.
Or-
We budget for these every year during the budget, we can only estimate how much we're budgeting for, because we don't know what the true cost is until it comes in.
Okay.
We were pretty close to this year, so.
Okay.
Ms. Abdo?
Before I vote yes on this, I would want clarification on that. You were talking about, so as I'm looking at it, it's to be $11,000 a year. That's how I'm looking at it. I would like some more clarification. That didn't even cover three,
At least 3 crossings.
No, I took that as that was the cost for the crossings that they listed for that work, and that'll be the only work that'll be done in that 10-year program. There will be some other crossings, I'm sure, and as Mr. Bach said, well, I'm sure they'll be coming back. They do the assessment of them, and they determine the priority of the work. So it's pretty clear on that page 3 that those are the crossings, those are the cost, and that was the work that was done.
I guess what's unclear is the statement, the cost is spread over 10 years to allow easy payment installments to be made by the host community. Are we talking this 11,000 over 10 years? I still don't think this is clear. At least to me.
Well, it's one thing we can handle. Are you going to withdraw your motion, or what we,
She can leave it.
if you can
I
leave
can
it,
leave
then we
it,
can
but I'm
vote on
not
it?
going to vote for it. yeah.
Okay, we can leave it and vote on it.
I don't know.
Okay. Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe. And this is for the CSX single maintenance and crossing maintenance charges. Roll call. Ms. Abdo,
No.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5C, and what you have is a request before you to authorize to renew our annual Downriver Community Conference membership dues for the city of Romulus. The amount is $4,750, and those have been budgeted for out of the general fund.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to authorize to renew our annual Downriver Community Conference membership dues for the city of Romulus in the amount of $4,750.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kraut. And this is to authorize to renew our annual Downriver Community Conference membership dues for the city of Romulus in the amount of $4,750. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion is approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5D, last item for action. And we had previously had a public hearing on this one. The request is to approve the motion to fully support and encourage Vantage Port Board to authorize and issue a 10-year Public Act 198 abatement. That's for the Spirit Airline Maintenance Repair and Operation project at the Detroit Metropolitan Airport. That was the one where we had a $31 million investment, 84 new jobs. They were retaining hundreds of current jobs. And this was one also that I got a very positive email from an employee of Spirit that doesn't even live in Romulus, lived outside of Wayne County actually, and said that he knew of at least another 100 pilots and flight attendants that were going to be able to stay in Michigan because of this improvement and additional service that Spirit's putting here. So we're excited to bring that to you through Vantage Port.
Okay. Motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion
Okay.
to fully support and encourage Vantage Port Board to authorize and issue a 10-year PA 198 abatement for the Spirit Airline Maintenance Repair Operation, MRO, project at DTW at the Detroit Airport.
I'll support that.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to approve a motion to fully support and encourage the Vantage Port Board to authorize and issue a 10-year PA 198 abatement for the Spirit Airline Maintenance Repair Operations, MRO, project at DTW. And boy, this is really nice for the city of Romulus. Anytime you bring operations and jobs into Romulus and put people to work, that's great. Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council, and that concludes my report.
Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. Under 6A1, for approval is a resolution to adopt, and this is being requested from our Economic Development Director, and this is to confirm and certify the proposed special assessment role for the Merriman Road Enhancement Project.
You have a motion,
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion
Ms. Roscoe?
to approve the resolution requesting council approval to confirm and certify the proposed special assessment role for Merriman Road Enhancement Project.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for a resolution requesting council approval to confirm and clarify the proposed special assessment road for Merriman Road Enhancement Project. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo? Yes. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A2, our city assessor, Julie Albert, is requesting that council pass a resolution to request the State Tax Commission to revoke the industrial facilities tax exemption certificates issued to Lee Steel Corporation and 4L Ventures LLC doing business as Lee Steel Corporation. This is due to the failure of the holder to proceed in good faith with the operation of the new facility.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Choate.
I could make that motion that, that the city of Romulus revokes the industrial facilities exemption certificate number 2012-448 and 2012-449 for Lee Steel Corporation and 4L Ventures LLC DBA Lee Steel Corporation for an amount of $13,029,832 in personal property and $12,613,354 in real property. And this is, this company would have been located at 36320 Eureka Road in Romulus.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Kraut. And this is for this resolution requesting the State Tax Commission to revoke the industrial facility tax exemption certificates issued to Lee Steel Corporation and 4L Ventures LLC, DBA Lee Steel Corporation. Any discussion? Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A3, for second reading and final adoption, is an ordinance amendment to Chapter 36 Offenses, Article 2, Section 36-30, and this is to change the name false alarms to nuisance alarms in Section D, and to change third to second nuisance alarm. This ordinance was introduced at the council meeting of October 26, 2015.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to approve second reading, final adoption of amended ordinance, Chapter 36 offenses, Article 2, Section 36 through 30, change third to second alarm.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, as mentioned by the clerk, that this was introduced at the council meeting on the 26th of October for the second read of final adoption of amendment ordinance chapter 36 offenses, Article 2, Section 36-30D, change third to second alarm. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A4 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 1516-3, and this is to recognize changes in the fiscal year 1516 school tax captures, principal and entrance payments that were due based on the refunding and additional issuance of the 2015 Tifa Vining Road project bonds. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of October 26, 2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion for the final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-3 to recognize changes in FY 15/16 school tax captures, principal and interest payments due based on the refunding and the additional issuance of the 2015 Tifa Vining Road project bonds.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Kraut, for the changes in fiscal year 16 school tax captures, principal and interest payments due based on the refunding and additional issuance of the 2015 Tifa Vining Road project bonds. Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A5 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 15/16-8. And this is to adjust the original estimated budget to the actual amount of remaining funds available for DDA construction projects from the 2014 bond issue. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of October 26, 2015.
Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-8.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, for the second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-8. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Chair votes yes, and motion is approved.
6A6 for second reading and final adoption is Budget Amendment 15/16-9. And this budget amendment was to move the unused 14-15 budgeted funds for the police interview room camera system to the 15-16 budget year. This budget amendment was introduced at the council meeting of October 26, 2015.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion for the second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-9.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for second reading and final adoption of a budget amendment 15/16-9. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
For 6A7, and this is for second reading and final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-10. And this was to adjust the original estimated budget to the actual amount of remaining funds available for the Goddard Road construction project to cover the additional costs and reflect the additional reimbursement expected from the State of Michigan Department of Transportation. This was introduced at the council meeting of October 26, 2015.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-10.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for second reading, final adoption of Budget Amendment 15/16-10. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A8, we're asking council to adopt a resolution to approve the amended cemetery rules and regulations as submitted.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to accept resolution to approve the amended cemetery rules and regulations.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, for a resolution to approve the amended cemetery rules and regulations. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate? Ms. Choate?
Yeah, I'll vote yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
I abstain,
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A9, on behalf of Chief Judge Tina Brooks Green, our Chief of Staff Robert Dickerson, they are requesting an hour and a half study session for Monday, November 23rd, 2015, beginning at 6 o'clock p.m., and this is to discuss the 34th District Court proposal.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion that we set up a study session for Monday, November 23rd, 2015, at 6 p.m. to discuss the 34th District Court proposal.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, for the study session request for Monday, November 23rd, 2015, at 6 p.m. to discuss the 34th District Court proposal. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We will have our study session.
And 6A10, our Director of Public Services, Robert McCrate, is requesting a study session on Monday, November 23rd, 2015, and this is to discuss possible solutions to the deteriorated condition of neighborhood streets and local roads. The time, this would be a 1-hour study session beginning at 5 o'clock.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion to set aside a study session request for Monday, November 23rd, 2015, to discuss possible solutions to the deteriorated condition of local roads, and that is set up for 5 o'clock. It will be a long day.
There's-
I can support that, but I have a question.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Cho, for a study session request for Monday, November 23rd, 2015, to discuss the possible solutions to the deteriorated conditions of local roads at 5 p.m. Discussion.
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
That only gives us an hour. Is that it? Do you think that's enough time?
Is that enough time?
Should be, unless you'd like more, we could extend it, but it should be an hour to go through the information, probably half hour, then questions and interaction, so I would think so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You gonna bring dinner?
Me?
Yeah.
I could.
Oh, okay,
What
okay.
would you like?
Collard greens. Okay.
No.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Cho?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We will have a study session.
Thank you. I know I had several long report, but before I close out my report, I would just like to recognize one of our Romulus residents. And she was asked to be a keynote speaker, and she was an honored guest in Chicago. There were 10 businesses that honored 10 women. These women are cancer survivors, and each business had, in their venue, a dinner, and they had keynote speakers, and this Romulus resident was a keynote speaker at one of the businesses there in Chicago, and this was the Chicago Popcorn, and for this resident, this was her son's business there, and the name of the organization is Jubilation, and as we know, we've just heard that ugly word, that C word around here just too many times. And so I just think it's important that we recognize this resident because she is a cancer survivor. So she is a testimony that, that this disease can be beat, that we can overcome. And that resident is none other than Sharon Walker. And if she could stand.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you, Sharon. Keep fighting the good fight. Thank you, and that will conclude the clerk's report. And our city treasurer did not have anything on to report this evening, and she did ask to be excused, which moves us on to number 7, public comment. And this is the portion of our meeting set aside for those in the audience that if you would. You have comments and like to address council with your comments, you may do so at this time. If you would like to speak, raise your hand after you've been acknowledged by our chairperson. Approach the podium. We ask that you state your name, your address, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Mr. Chair and council, we do have one written request, and that's from Ms. Doris Bennett.
Okay. Ms. Bennett?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Doris Bennett, Montana Drive in Romulus. I had a person come to my door last week telling me that he could save me money on my utility bills. I questioned him to the fact that he had been there just a few months prior to that. He told me no, it had been 2 years. He didn't seem to want to discuss that. He he told me to go get my utility bill and bring it to him so he could see how much I was paying. And I told him no, I wasn't interested the first time he came by, and I still wasn't interested. I had talked to some of the neighbors. He had gone from door to door. I went down to the office and gave them this information in writing, told them that I would be making a police report and that I would be coming to council tonight. I feel this is important for council because people will hear this and know what's going on, maybe otherwise they wouldn't. However, that same week, it was on Channel 7 that there was a scam going on in Detroit, and it was coming out to the suburban communities. So hopefully, this will help. This is the only reason I'm here. I just feel that it's not, if it's a scam, he's only wanting information of your bills. I don't know whether there is reason that he would be coming back this many times. So since I have notified everyone, that's pertaining to where I live, I thought this would be a wise thing to do, maybe to come and do it this way as well.
Exactly.
So, do you have any questions?
Ms. Bragg, you have?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to just reiterate, our ordinance is very clear about peddlers because it was amended. So any peddler or solicitor that's knocking at your door, you should ask them, just for everyone, to see they have to have a badge. They will have to have some type of badge or permit that was issued from the city allowing them to do that. Obviously, that person did not come through the clerk's office, so just letting everybody know, if someone knocks on your door, ask them to see their permit that was issued from the city.
Well, see, we also have no trespassing and no soliciting.
So they shouldn't have even knocked on your door.
Right. Well, there are a few that do come through, but sometimes it's just children selling something for their schools. But this has, well, the way it's happening, it makes it sound sort of illegal to me as well. They come after our office, community office is closed, and they leave at dusk or just before dark.
That shouldn't be.
So
Okay.
I felt that that's not acceptable.
Mr. Mayor, you have some?
Yeah, I guess any information they can pass along would be helpful. I know that there was a Canadian company that had people in our region that were doing similar scams like that. I was not aware in our community, so if Ms. Bennett, if she has the information on that company, we can get PD involved and check them out and investigate it. I guess to any resident, if there's someone suspicious, you're not required to show them. I would encourage you showing them any bills with any personal information. Make us aware of it so we can check them out thoroughly, and if they are an official peddler, we'll have record of it. If they're not, we'll make sure that we investigate it and take care of it, because unfortunately there are people out there that are have other motives in mind. So thank you.
Thank you.
Well, he did have identification around his neck, but it was just a name in black letters. There was other writing on the identification, but it was so small I couldn't read it because he was outside and I was inside the door. So I couldn't read it. I don't know what it was. I don't know if this was his first name, his last name, or company name. I don't know. Have any idea what that was all about, but he did have that.
Yeah, in cases like that also, Ms. Bennett, it's even best not to even open the door, keep your door locked, you know.
Well, my storm door was locked, but if someone knocks on the door, I just go open it.
Right.
Not expecting it to be
Wow.
something like that. But since it's been twice, and it was the same person both times.
Wow. Ms. Bragg?
Just want to add that every peddler or solicitor, they have to go through a background check. So actually, we've discouraged a few of some of these companies because every person that knocks on the door must go through a background check. They must have, their permit. Some companies don't want to pay for that, so every individual that's working for them. So we've tried to put some things in place, working with our city attorney in the amended ordinance, just because of things like that, so that we just have a whole screening process now for those that might be knocking, on your doors. So just, we're doing our best on this end. So any information you could provide, as the mayor said, we will, look into that.
Well, that's all that I have right now, and I hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bennett. Any other comments in the audience? Ms. Walker?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sharon Walker. What I came here to ask about, in the past week and a half, 2 people have been killed walking.
I'm sorry, can you use your mic? I can't hear you.
Is that,
You can?
Use the cordless mic. We're having issues with that mic.
In the past, I would say week and a half, 2 people have been killed that I know of, walking. Now, if I come down Wayne Road at night, I usually ride the middle lane. I don't get all the way over because there's people walking and you almost hit them. I wonder, is it something that the police department could do or issue? 2 people that are riding bikes and walking, they have these things that light up.
Reflector.
Something. Because if you come down Ecorse Road, people are walking. Usually it's a lot of kids walking up to the gas station to get stuff. And you have to almost get over in the other lane to keep from hitting them. And like I said, a couple of people, one in Romulus and one in Inkster, was killed this past week and a half. So, that's something that the police could look into? Or is it something that could be put in the ordinance even? They have to have something on.
Yeah, I can have them check it. I don't know if there's anything in the ordinance. It's kind of common sense, but when people are walking, especially at night with dark clothes, it makes it difficult for any driver, so I'll inquire about that. Thank you.
thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Any other comments? Yes, Ms.
Gina Stewart, 10740 West Jefferson. I had 2 questions about things that took place at the meeting. I didn't quite understand the 5B with the CSX maintenance. It was kind of confusing to me. I know it was $11,700 for a 10-year period to be spread out over 10 years. But then when you guys discussed it, it was for 2014 to 2015. So was the bill $11,700 for that year, and then it's going to be paid for $1,700 for the next 10 years?
Yeah, correct. That was for the work that was done, and I can give you a list of those crossings and what each individual amount was for. But that was for that time frame that I think it was Ms. Roscoe read off from the invoice from CSX. So,
I guess we would assume that over the next 10 years, they won't go back to those?
no, I would not. The repairs that were done should be done for a period of time. And there are also some crossings that were not done that they will be coming back to us on. Because that was just, 6 different crossings, so.
And it was their decision or Romulus' decision to spread it out over the 10 years?
That was their program that they offer. That's a normal maintenance program that they offer. They pick the crossings based on assessment that they do, and those are the costs assessed per the work that needs to be done on those, but that's their maintenance program that they have for communities.
It just didn't seem like that was a lot of money. I know some of the bills that get paid is way over $1,000. I thought it would be $11,000 at one time, probably wasn't huge. to spread out over 10 years, that just seems like a lot of extra accounting work
Okay.
for such a small amount. All right, thank you for that.
Problem.
The other question I had was 6A2. I didn't understand that either. The resolution requesting the commission revoke something for lease deal. What, is that normal? Why was that revoked? How does that
Mr.
work?
Chairman, if you want, I can
Yes.
try to answer that. Lee Steel was a company that had a 198 here in the city, and the agreements that we sign is that once a company is no longer active, which they are not, they went out of business, basically we have to revoke the process because we can't leave that incentive in place. It's a tax abatement. And any time a company, we've had past practice where if it be Kelsey Hayes or other companies, the process is we have to go through and deactivate that. So that's what that was pertaining to.
So the company has closed?
Correct.
How long ago was that they closed?
Tim, within the last year?
I think it was probably April of this year,
Okay.
April, June, somewhere in that timeframe.
Had they opened up for
Yes.
business?
Yes.
And about how long were they in business? A year?
2 years.
2 years?
I mean, it's.
They had various stages of operation, so they were in the building within the last probably year and a half and were operating. I don't know if they were ever at full capacity in that particular plant. They also have a plant in West Michigan. They relocated that plant from Detroit and to increase capacity, but unfortunately the company, through their expansion, went out of business. So part of the process is to, revoke the 198 that's in place.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? There's no more comments. We close that out. Madam Clerk?
Number 8 is unfinished business. Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Ms. Roscoe?
Well, it's the holiday times are coming. It's November, December here. I seen somewhere out there, it said we got 7 Mondays to Christmas. So that wasn't, it makes you kind of depressed. But they push it, they rush it. But on the other hand, it's a time of year that people get more aware of people that aren't as fortunate as you may be. This coming Saturday, it's our annual Can Do. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts are now combining with the Boy Scouts to put out bags to collect canned goods. So this weekend, you'll start seeing bags out on your doors. They'll come back on the 14th, on the following Saturday, and pick those bags up. Just want to let you know that the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts that put out bags in our community, the food stays in our community. Most of it all goes to Helping Hands. And but if you don't see a bag on your door, remember that there's organizations that have food pantries here in the city. Helping Hands is one of the most popular ones. They can always use your donations, anything you can drop off there, especially with the holidays coming. They make up a lot of different baskets and different things for people who aren't as fortunate as we are. But other than that, we got a lot of different things going on in the city between now and then. Jazz went over a lot of it, and I just would like to tell you to enjoy your holidays. They go too quickly. Enjoy your families, because you never know what tomorrow's going to bring and what 2016 will hold for anybody.
Thank you, Ms.
Barton.
Jo- Yes, Mr. Crowell?
If you're celebrating a birthday in November, happy birthday to you.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Ms.
Mr.
Ms.
Chair-
Braggs?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, under communication, I want to announce that the Romulus Ministerial Alliance will be having their annual community Thanksgiving worship service. The date is for Wednesday, November the 18th, at 7:00 p.m., and this year's service will be held at the First Baptist Church of Romulus, which is located at 11412 Delano, here in the great city of Romulus.
Okay, thank you.
And if there's no more communication, number 11 is adjournment.
So move.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo for adjournment. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.